Hi, this is Jamey with Stonemeyer Games, and I'm here today to talk about my favorite game mechanism in Hearts. Yes, I'm talking about Hearts, the old school card game. This was a game that I have not played in a long time. I don't know why it occurred to me to talk about it today. But I played it, I would say, almost every day my sophomore year of college. We just played a ton of Hearts that year. Every night we'd sit down, we'd play a $5 game. And I think by the end of the year we were pretty much even on money. The money didn't matter that much, but it was more about playing the game. And in Hearts, the basic idea is you're collecting tricks, you're collecting hands, and you're trying not to collect hearts. That's the key, right? Hearts are bad. And the game will end whenever someone, and it's been a long time, I hope this is right, whenever someone reaches 100 points. And whenever someone triggers that end game, the person with the fewest points wins. So you're trying to stay as far away from 100 as possible. And it has a nice push and pull because it's pretty obvious who's in the lead, and people might try to give them more cards than other players. It's a very clever game for such a simple card game. But the thing I wanted to talk about is the idea of shooting the moon in Hearts, which I think is by far my favorite game mechanism in Hearts. Because Hearts, like I said, the key way to win is to have the fewest points to get the fewest hearts. But every now and then, you might decide to try to shoot the moon. And shooting the moon means that you get all of the hearts for a certain round of play. You get all of them. If you get all of them, then everyone else gains a ton of points and you gain nothing. Now, I think this is really key because basically what Hearts is doing there is it's giving you two different ways to win the game, two very different ways. It's giving you a core way to win the game and then one exceptional out-of-the-box way to win the game. And not too many games have this. I think the most recent implementation of this is probably Seven Wonders Duel, which I haven't played. In Seven Wonders Duel, for the most part, you're just trying to get the most points, and at the end of the game, whoever has the most points wins. But there are two alternate ways to win. One, and they end the game immediately if you do it. One is a military track that has like a push and pull mechanism where you're trying to get to one end of the track and you automatically end the game and win. And there's a research mechanism where if you collect, I think it's all 6 symbols, the game automatically ends and you win. Those are essentially shoot the moon mechanisms. They're things that you can do while you're playing the game, but you really have to go off on a divergent path to do that. It was something I considered in the game design for Scythe, actually. In Scythe, you're mainly collecting coins. In other words, the most coins at the end of the game wins. But at one time I thought it might be interesting to have a shoot the moon mechanism where if you do something exceptional, like if you take over someone else's home base, which isn't even a real option, like you can't go into someone's home base in the game, but this was a rule I thought about. If you take over someone's home base, or maybe you surround their home base, then you automatically end the game and win. I think it probably would have made the game a little bit more combat oriented than I wanted it to be, but I still love the idea that you might, in a game, recognize that you are falling behind. You are not doing well with the core way to win the game. But you have that one element, that one shoot the moon mechanism of ending and winning the game all at once by putting all your eggs in one basket and just going for it. I love that option. I love the drama it provides. I love that you always get to feel like you're in the game because even if you're not winning by the core mechanism, you still have that thing that you can go for. And I love the stories it creates. Not that I really remember any particular hand of Hearts or game of Hearts, but I think in other games, more thematic games, there are stories that you can create by the one guy who was losing the whole game, and out of nowhere at the end, he pulls off the hardest possible thing to do, but he does it and he wins, and the game is over. I just love that mechanism. I'm sure you will be able to think of other examples of this in more modern games of this shoot the moon mechanism, and I'd love to hear them in the comments. And I'd love to even, as a designer, I'd love to even just remember that that's an option. Because I think sometimes we become so focused on just the core way of winning the game that we forget that it's even an option to do the shoot the moon mechanism. Of course, it is also pretty tough to design around, I'm guessing, in a more complex game than Hearts. Because you still have to make sure the game is balanced. You have to make sure that the shoot the moon mechanism doesn't happen all that often. It has to be pretty rare and it has to be difficult, or players will just try to do it all the time. And it has to be something that not more than one player can really try to do. Like, two players could try to do that, but if two players do, it should be even harder, exponentially harder for both of them to do it. So I can see why designers don't do it more often, but I'd love to keep it in mind for my future designs. So let me know what you think in the comments. I'm sure you have some great examples to share. Thanks.